Welcome to the Don Show, presented by Vinyl Empire. Let's hear a word from our sponsor.
Vinyl Empire. Come see them for your printing needs. Banners, window decals, labels, car graphics, t-shirt, and much, much more. 4917 Dixie Highway, Suite K. Telephone number 742-0158. Make sure you check out Vinyl Empire, a proud sponsor of 54 Sports Network.
Welcome, 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 and hello to all my fantasy football fanatics. And thanks for joining me for another The Don's Fantasy Playbook, where dreams become reality. Hey, thanks for tuning in. Today, I'm bringing you something new, what I got going on. It's it's the Don's chalkboard, where I'll bring in some coaches, some coaches from all my leagues that I play in, and we're gonna talk about fantasy football. We're gonna talk about their experience, their year so far, and how's things going. We're gonna take it to the board and see just how much of a great year they are having, or maybe a bad year. So, with that being said, I'm gonna bring in my first guest, no other than Don D. Brooks Jr., my son. Thanks for joining us today, DJ.
So what's going on?
All right. You know what? I see you got a good year going on in one or the other, but I'm not going to say about the other league where I just whooped your tail in. So we're going to talk about the one league that you are one of the top players, teams in it.
Right. Okay.
So
Okay.
let's start with, a couple of questions for you. How's your year going? So we're going to do this. After the draft, how did you feel about the team that you drafted?
Honestly, I was kind of excited about it because uh, I kind of drafted players that I had from my last season. You know, the CD Lamb, Dax, players like that really kind of carried me to the championship last year. Uh, so I was like, you know what? I was like, so you know what? I can just try to redraft these players that did good last year, and I kind of know what their rotation is. And the draft was a little iffy, but you know, I think I had at least the two. I picked the two players I actually absolutely wanted. So that was a
Okay,
key
okay,
point.
okay. I heard you. I heard you. So when you was drafting, what did you mainly focus on? Did you focus on like the best available, or did you have your did you go for like filling specific needs or your positions? Did you look for that?
So honestly, it was kind of um, I knew the main player that I wanted, and kind of bit me in the butt a little bit. I wanted C.J. Stroud as my QB1. That was my first pick, my go to. I absolutely knew, that's what I knew I wanted. Absolutely was him. But then from there, I had, like I said, my players from last year that I wanted, and not too many people was really bidding on. So in the first round, like I said, I went C.J. Stroud, and then I just knew that I wanted C.D. Lamb next. So I was just going based on like my last year roster and players I knew that was going to be doing good with the moves and stuff like that. And I was successful, starting out. So
All right, all right, all right. Yeah, yeah. I mean, what is your record look like right now? What's
so uh, before this last week, I was 4-1. I mean 5-1. Now I'm 5-2. So I lost to the second best team in the league. My team kind of let me down this week, but we're gonna recoup and get well and hit it hard next week.
get it back together? All right. So
Get it
let
back
me ask you
together.
this:
Uh-huh.
by looking at your team that you got going right now, who is a player that you cannot lose to injury?
Uh, well, the player that I couldn't lose kind of got injured. Debo Samuel and Kenneth Walker have been my top scorers so far this season. They've been the most consistent. Um, yeah, Kenneth Walker's been putting up absolutely great numbers all year for my season, and Debo Samuel, whenever he is healthy, he's putting up good numbers as well. So I would say Debo Samuel and Kenneth Walker, but like I said, they just Debo just went out last game, and Kenneth Walker just came back from an injury. Um, but my quarterback spots are really low. I only have two quarterbacks, so I would say probably my quarterbacks.
Okay, because yeah, I do know specifically because DJ Debo went out.
Mhm.
He's in the just got out of the hospital today
Yeah,
and specifically had pneumonia. So
yeah,
let's hope that he recovers from that.
yeah.
All right. So what is your probability that you think how far can your team go?
To be honest, I'm surprised that I have the record I have now. I was very surprised. Every time I check in, because I do have a busy schedule, so some days I don't even get to check in until it's time to start the next week. So I'm surprised when I log in the app and it says "Cheers, you won." I'm like, oh shoot, my little bench warmers team is kind of coming together and surprising. Uh, but I think that if we keep on going, we'll go far. Championship is obviously the goal, but I'll be satisfied with making it through the playoffs.
All right, all right. So how long have you played fantasy football?
I think this is probably my second year. Going through with it and drafting. I've played some random ESPN leagues where I'm like user 3477, whatever my name is. But as far as having a name and a team and a consistent league, I think this is my second year.
Okay, all right. Hey, got to start somewhere.
Yeah, gotta start somewhere. And last year, I think I went to the Super Bowl, so
All
pretty sure.
right. So, what is your most memorable fantasy football moment? Well, that you have experienced. So, I mean, from this year and last year, I guess we don't got too much to choose from. But hey, what you think?
I would say last year, whenever I had the league that I was playing in, uh, not DK Metcalf, CD Lamb and Dak Prescott literally led me all the way to the championship. They was putting up themselves 90 points a game, 90 points a week, just them two alone. They were carrying me, and it was very impressive. Like the other players could have just showed up and caught one pass, and I still would have won the game, which is what carried me to my success.
Hey,
And I
can't
drafted
go
both
wrong
those.
with
Yeah, I drafted both those players again this year, and Dak's being Dak, but still pretty successful without him.
that. Hey, you know how it goes sometimes.
Yeah,
Sometimes they overachieve, sometimes they
yeah,
don't.
yeah.
But hey, I appreciate you coming on with me, taking
Of
time
course.
out your busy schedule
Yeah,
because we see what you do. So hey,
I do. I do. I
all
appreciate you
right,
guys having me out here. It was a blessing.
all right. But
Uh,
hey, enjoy the rest of your fantasy football season. Good luck with the rest of your year, other than the leagues that I'm in with you. So, oh, hold up, I'm in both of those leagues. So anyway, so
yeah,
yeah, you take it easy. Have a good one. I'll talk
of
to you.
course. Yep.
All right, it was good. Tune in, my man, my son, DJ. Why not? And he's having a good year in one and not so good in the other. But hey, we all can't be successful in every league we in. All right, so let's start with my top players of the week from last week. Hey, why not? My top quarterbacks from this week are, like I said, last week, the one and only Lamar Jackson, who brought us 34 points this past week. I mean, yesterday, if you watched that game, Lamar looked like the MVP Lamar. 34 points. He is the man. But matter of fact, we're going to get back to the rest of his stats later. The Baker man, Mayfield. He puts up numbers, but you can always, you know, Baker man, you never know sometimes. So Baker was 31 of 45, 370 yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. He even ran the ball 5 times for 22 yards. Hey, 27 points, Baker. Hey, why not? That's good. And let's move on to our top running backs. Now, I'm going to tell you, this week, the running backs was out there running. They was doing their thing. And it's multiple players we can go on and on and on. But the tops, Jameer Gibbs out of Detroit for 32 points. Gibbs had 15 rushes, 116 yards, 2 touchdowns. He even caught the ball 4 times for 44 yards. 32 points for Jameer Gibbs. Rashid White out of Tampa Bay, 29 points. Did you see that coming? Because I know I didn't. He came out of nowhere with that. But the thing about it, he ran the ball for 10 times for 40 yards. But the man, he can catch that ball out the outfield. He has 6 receptions for 71 yards and 2 touchdowns. Hey, and you know Baker, man, was giving it to him, so he had to distribute that ball somewhere. All right, we got that man Barkley once again. Barkley from Philly, 27 points this week. 17 carries, 176 yards, and 1 touchdown. The word was he was sitting there with the coach on the bench. The coach wanted him to get his top rushing that he's ever had. Barkley said, no, he wants to share the yards. He wants to share the TDs. He said, let the young men eat too, coach. Hey, more props to you, Barkley. We have Joe Mixon. Joe Mixon was out there today doing his thing. 25 carries. Ooh. We know somebody who wasn't doing it in the air, so somebody had to do it in the ground, evidently. Crazy. Mixon, 25 carries, 115 yards, and 2 touchdowns for 26.5 points this week. Hey, go ahead. Joe Mixon did his thing. Let's move on to the wide receivers from last week. The top. Woo, we have Amari St. Brown. Amari St. Brown, Detroit, the thing about it, Detroit is doing Detroit things right now, and they are looking good. St. Brown had 8 receptions, 112 yards, 1 touchdown. He had 8 targets. He caught every target that came his way. He didn't drop a pass. The man had 25 points. He was sticky fingers, I tell you out there. Sticky. George Pickens. Hey, I guess Russ. That's, who knows what Pittsburgh wants to do? They don't even know, I don't think. So Pickens was getting the love last night. He was getting the love the other night. So 5 receptions, 111 yards, 1 touchdown, 22 points. Wide receivers was eating. We got Brian Thompson Jr. from Jacksonville. Lawrence was distributing the ball, we see. Thompson is taking advantage of it lately. He had 5 catches, 89 yards, 1 touchdown, but 22 points. And Rashid Bateman out of Baltimore. You know Lamar had to distribute somewhere, and evidently Zane Flowers wasn't the one getting it, but Bateman was handling that rock when he got it his way. But it was just 4 catches. But the man had 121 yards from 1 touchdown for another wide receiver with 22 points. They was out there. More wide receivers was out there. I'm telling you, they was looking good. And I'm gonna have just a quick input on the wide receivers real quick. Cedric Tillman out of Cleveland. This is just a little insert. Give him some love because the man he was projected for 6 points. The man poured out 18 points the other night. Who knew Cedric Tillman was going to get that love? Next up, we got the tight ends. David Njoku out of Cleveland. He got that love. Other than Tillman, 24 points out of the tight end position. If you had Njoku, hey, that's a hella pickup right there in that tight end position. Can't go wrong right there. 24 points. Njoku, 10 receptions for 76 yards and 1 touchdown. The man had 14 targets coming his way. I don't care. Well, we know Deshaun Watson won't be distributing that ball to him. So next man up, whoever it might be in Cleveland. Janohu Smith. Miami. So Miami's having difficulty too. That's somewhere else where who's throwing the ball. But Smith got that ball, 7 receptions, 96 yards, and 1 touchdown for 23 points. Hey, you can't ask too much out of that tight end position. So you get that, I'm happy for you, and I know you are too. Let's move on. All right. Top defense from last year. I mean, the other day. Let's say Sunday. Top defense, the Denver Broncos. 21 points. Denver's been eating lately. And I think I told y'all to pick them up off the waiver wire not too long ago. So I hope y'all got them. Denver, they caused 2 fumble recoveries. And off of one of them, they went 52 yards for a fumble for a touchdown. Wow. 6 sacks. And they only gave up 10 points. Can't ask too much more. And a win. Hey, Denver's defense out there doing it. Our top kicker from last week. Cameron Dicker, the kicker. 21 points. The man was, that's interesting because he scored all their points. He scored all the points for the Chargers. Everything. The man was 5 for 5. He kicked a 59-yard field goal, a 50-yard field goal, a 28-yard field goal, a 47-yard field goal, and a 40-yard field goal. The man was just kicking. I know his foot had to be done. Hey, but he kicked. If you had him, you probably need to go pick him up. Anyway, next up, I'm telling you, the overachiever of the week. And this is out of nowhere. Marcus Jaden Daniels went down. Marcus Mariota came out of nowhere because he wasn't supposed to be playing. He was sitting there with headphones and clipboard on the sideline. But they called his name. When I talk about next man up, he stepped in, next man up, and he did what he was supposed to do. He helped grow that lead in Washington with the win. 20 points. That's a plus 20 because he was projected, of course, none. Plus 20. Mark Mariota, 18 of 23, 205 yards, 2 touchdowns. Plus, he even ran out the pocket for 11 times and got 34 yards off of that. More power to you, Marcus. Hey, hoping Jane. But for Washington's sake, let's keep Jaden Daniels healthy and keep him moving. All right. And who did not show up this past week? He made me lose one of my games, I know for sure. And DJ, who just went off the show, made him lose his. CJ Stroud, 5 points, -12. Seemed like, most he gets way more than that because he throws, but I don't know what it was. Green Bay's defense, Jair Alexander from Louisville, could have been. But Stroud was 10 of 21, 86 yards, even try to run a couple times. 5 for 19. But that didn't do it. No touchdowns, no interception. He just was no. I guess he was just held. So show up next time, CJ. I mean, maybe a lesser defense, I guess. Yes, I wasn't ready. Get a better game plan. Next up, who are we starting this coming week? Hmm. Let's see. James Conner. Well, let's start with Bo Nix. Matter of fact, Bo Nix. Bo Nix stepped up for Denver. He's been playing. And plus, they play in Carolina. The Panthers are awful terrible. So I'm looking for Bo Nix to have a good game this coming week. Because they go against the Panthers. Panthers don't even. Ooh, we'll get on that in a second also. James Conner. They going against the Dolphins. And the Dolphins are getting scored on, ran on, thrown on. They hopefully they get everything fixed down there. But right now, James Conner is liable to get 100. I'm throwing him 100 yards at least. T. Higgins. T. Higgins showed up last week. I think Cincinnati's ready to show up. So with that, how they looked last week, I'm they are looking like possibility where they could come back and do what they have been doing for the years. So we shall see. Will Cool Joe keep doing his thing? Chase on one side, Higgins on the other, and the Eagles. I think the Eagles' pass defense is not as good as the rush defense. So I'm looking at, yeah, Cool Joe to spice him up a little bit out there, that secondary. Dalton Kincaid. Seahawks have been giving up quite a bit of points against the tight ends. So Kincaid should be able to eat, and Josh Allen should be the one feeding him. Let's see, can he have a good game? I mean, Josh Allen, we'll see. And of anybody that knows me, yes, the Kansas City Chiefs defense, you want to play them. I mean, they did their thing last week, and they keep on doing what they're going to do. Plus, they're going against the Raiders. You could play any defense against the Raiders. Enough said. All right, but now, who are we just keeping on the bench? I've asked. We shall see. First off, Daniel Jones. Really? We don't even know if Daniel Jones might not play. So you watch out on that because it's talk that Drew Luck might take over that start position. And if you got Drew Luck taking over, yeah, that's not good news. Oh, man. So, Chase Brown. So, Eagles, like I said, their rush defense should slow Cincinnati's rush down. Chase is not averaging a lot. He's had good games, but I'd rather stay back from that. Xavier Leggett. Now, Carolina is playing the Broncos defense. Broncos secondary, their defense have been one of the top-notch defenses this year, and I think they're going to keep it up. And plus, does he know who's throwing the ball to him this coming week? Are they going to bring Bryce Young back? Are they going to keep the Red Ranger Andy Dalton in? I don't think they even know. So I wouldn't even jeopardize it. Kobe Parkinson. So that's another tough defense that he's going against. Minnesota does not, and they are one of the top defenses also. And they are really stingy with the tight ends. Tight ends don't do too much. They just give up a little. He might get some in the red zone, but I don't think I'm taking a chance. And the Chicago Bears defense, y'all going against Washington, Chicago. Y'all might want to watch out because Washington's on a mission so far, it looks like. With the young buck, hopefully he's healthy. If he plays, I think they saying day to day, Washington, y'all might get carved up like next month's Thanksgiving dinner. All right, let's move on. So, my waiver wire pickup gems for this coming week. Now, the funny thing, I had to just throw my 49ers on there because injuries are hitting us bad. And we next man up, next man up, next man up. So Juan Jennings, Ricky Purcell, hey, let's get some love. Juan Jennings, though, has been, it's a hip injury. He's been thing he didn't come in the last game. So if he's come back, you got Ayuk out for the season. Debo coming out of the hospital with, pneumonia. No, it's not looking good. It's not looking good at all. So, but one thing, Brock was going to throw that ball. He's going to find somebody open as long as he don't throw like last week. But Juwan Jennings should be getting some love, and Purcell is just going to get in that mix, and he's been they saying he's a good route runner, so he's going to get that mix and mix that ball up and get some of that love because somebody's going to have to get it other than Kittle. All right. Cedric Tillman. Like I said, he came out of nowhere with his performance, but this might be the guy that's, one of those one-time tricksters. So, kind of iffy. I mean, that's why he just owned about 1% across the leagues. So we shall see what he comes out with next week. But I know just by what he did, he's going to be a hot pickup. Romeo Dobbs. If he's not already on your team, if he's not already picked up in your league, go ahead and scoop him up because you got, some Green Bay receivers are day to day are, we don't know how far or how good these receivers are going for your boy Love. So Love's been finding Dobbs lately. So, like last week, he had 10 targets come his way. He caught 8 of them. He had 94 yards. So you can't ask for a lot right there. That's some points put up. So might want to go scoop him up if he's available. Tyler Algier. Now he's owned by 51% across the leagues. He's a good flex option if you just need to stick somebody in there, if somebody's on, bye week or whatever else. Or you can have him for that handcuff for Bijan because he's going to catch that rock out of the backfield. And they'll probably give him, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 carries a game just to fill in with Bijan. But Bijan goes down, yeah. Algier just might be the guy to have right there to scoot right in and put him in and get some little points for you. Jonas Smith. 6% of leagues own. So the thing about that, he had like 7 targets last week. So they're going to look for him. But how is it going to be once Tua gets back? That's the thing. He's going to get picked up because he was a hot hand last week, one of the top tight ends that we've seen. But if Tua comes back, he's going to throw some more love, though, to going to get Hill back involved and get Waddle back involved because last week, it was ugly. So let's see if Tua comes back. And we got Real Richard. On 13%, the man is absolutely perfect this year. The kicker is absolutely perfect. If you need a kicker for just this week, you might want to go to him because he is 12 for 12 on field goals this year, 18 of 18 on extra points, and they're going to be in SoFi Stadium, and it's kick friendly as they call it. So just owned by 13%. Hey, pick them up. I would. All right. Next up, the Don's Trash Player of the Week. I'm gonna tell you, he did not show up. I mean, if you're a Carolina fan, I hate it for you right now because I hope there really probably ain't many left. But Andy Dalton did not show up to the party. I don't know what was going on, but he did not show up. The man was 11 of 16, 93 yards, two interceptions. He ended up equaling out to 0 points, negative 14. I mean, he did so bad, they had to bring Bryce Young into the game. So that tells you it's bad. And I don't think they know what they looking for now. But from right there, we got Andy Dalton, the trash player of the week. God, you suck this week. And your whole Carolina team. But y'all, I don't know. It's terrible. Just terrible. All right. Next up, the Don's Fantasy Football Player of the Week. Now, this guy, like I told you, he had one hell of a game. He should be on the top of the MVP palette right now. The man's two-time MVP from the Ville, Lamar Jackson. 17 of 22, 281 yards, 5 touchdowns. You heard me right. The man threw 5 touchdowns. And it's not many that who has done that. And he's one of the great ones who have. He even carried the ball for 9 times, 52 yards. The man put up 34 and a half points. That's a plus 14 what he was projected. Lamar was out there doing his thing. He's trying to make history this year, I do believe. And now with the king beside him, ooh, him and Derrick Henry are making noise. Watch out. Hey, guys say, go Lamar. Hey, I mean, it's been good this past week. I went 2-2. And I gotta say right now, DJ, he's probably not watching no more. But I'm gonna just do a kindly brag. One of my leagues, I beat him so bad that I beat him by over 100 points. It was terrible. I thought it was just hilarious. And he didn't mention it all. I didn't get no text. I didn't get nothing to be like, you don't have to beat me so bad. He just, but sometime you got whoop the young whippersnapper up every now and then. Let them know who still runs who still runs it. But 54 Sports Network, I did get me a win there. So I'm trying to climb back up and get in competition. But my other league, my dynasty league that I'm in, that didn't go as planned. CJ, I mean Brent, I had to drop Ben Ayuk in one league, or I think it was 2 leagues I had him in. I mean, injuries are hitting. I mean, like guys like Puka Nakua ain't coming back quick enough. You got other players that's getting hurt. This year is not looking good for a lot of probably teams, and a lot of injuries are hitting. I mean, you got people week by week getting hurt. It's getting ugly. Like you got Tampa Bay, Chris Goodwin. I mean, Guys are just hurting right now. It's getting a little tough. It's getting a little tough. And when you go after that waiver wire, you got to be careful when you go looking. And I gotta go pick and choose of who's gonna replace Ayuk. I don't know. It's slim picking sometime, but like I said, I'm gonna have to check out my own waiver wire because I got some eyes on a couple people. But hey, let me tell you, hey, I appreciate y'all tuning in. And like I said, come back, leave me some comments. What y'all think? What your team's looking like? Show me some undefeated teams. Show me some not so great teams. Do you need help? Do you need some advice? I got a little something for you. Can help you out. Might help you in the long run. Might not. But still, at the same time, thanks for tuning in. All my hot fanatics, my fantasy football fanatics. I mean, it was great. Thanks to my son coming on the show. Thanks for Vinyl Empire for producing. And from there, hey, stay passionate, competitive, and have another great week of fantasy football. Tune in next week. Thank you for tuning in with the Don.